But I did want to ask you about this real quickly. Ronda Rousey making the rounds, but not really the rounds. Rick, a buddy of mine actually, who you know as well, one of the media guys, he actually interviewed Ronda.
Rick, the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. He actually was the one that interviewed Ronda last week. The interview went up on Monday. Went viral, people talking about it all Monday. Quotes about her new book and her run in WWE. Basically what I want to ask you, and we've talked about it before while she was still in WWE, where did she go wrong in wrestling? And I know you followed her UFC career as well. She had another aura in that company, and she had this whole energy surrounding her as far as being the special attraction. She comes to WWE. We were there for the debut at the Rumble in 2018. It was a great moment. She had a great run. She comes back, and she can't quite capture that same magic. Now, she shit all over Vince. I'm not going to argue with that. But a majority of her run, I know Vince was kind of here and there during her most recent run, but most of it fell under Triple H, and she's not really acknowledging that. So why even come back if Vince is such a sicko? A lot of questions there, but where did WWE or where did Ronda Rousey go wrong during her most recent run in the company?
I mean, wasn't this didn't she come back and she was talking about how much she fucking hated wrestling fans and shit?
Initially or just recently?
Before she came back the second time.
Yeah, how much she hated fans, but yeah, that was a little different.
Okay,
but
I think that was half the problem. I mean, they bring her back. They want her to be a babyface, and she just wasn't. She just also was just not a good babyface to begin with. And I just feel like the first time Becky mentioned it, yes. I feel like they kind of protected her more in the first run on, in-ring and all that stuff. And the second time, they kind of, made her seem like she was, a normal performer, and she just, hey, like Becky said, she's just not that good.
I died. Someone shared the clip. I think it was the the Public Enemies podcast. It's one of those accounts that gets a lot of engagement. Excuse me. But they had tweeted that the initial tweet from someone else was Ronda had mentioned in the interview. I don't know if she mentioned in the interview to Rick or in her book. She was like, I can't settle for mediocrity. I think she said it to Rick, actually. She told Triple H, I can't settle for mediocrity. And then that Twitter account, I think the Public Enemies account or whatever it was, said, oh yeah, Triple H must have said the same thing to her because it was a video of one of her promos and how just abysmal it was. It was pretty clear by the end there she just did not care. And, that was partially her fault as well. The booking wasn't right. I just feel like the company also kind of needed her more in 2018. When she came back in 2022, they were at a point where they didn't even really need her anymore, and the women were enough of an attraction where Ronda, I don't know, she was also a babyface from the get-go. They just didn't really need her anymore. And I liked Ronda's first run. Her second run got off to a decent start, but the matches also weren't very good, and part of that falls on her as well.
She was stuck with Shayna. I mean, I guess that was one of her selling points. She had to tag with Shayna, but she was in the tag team division and also no one gave a fuck about.
At the end there, which the thing is that I wanted them to be paired up or feud or something, and they did end up feuding and they teamed and whatever. But it just wasn't, I don't know, nothing about that second run was what I wanted it to be. The Charlotte feud was not good. I was expecting more from that. That sucked. The team with Shayna, that sucked. She won the championship. Her reign sucked. The match and feud with Liv Morgan sucked. It just didn't really accomplish anything. The heel run, should have turned heel.
Well, the Liv Morgan feud was kind of
that was bad timing too.
I'll let that one slide because it was literally in the middle of the Vince and Triple H kind of overlapping.
Correct. Yeah, we brought that up before. Yeah.
Which
True.
Liv got boned in, but regardless. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that. I don't really put that against her because I feel like it was two different I don't know, it's my idea and then mixing with your idea. If we have two totally opposite ideas, and it's just not going to come out I don't know. The whole, book her to win, but, she kind of lost. The whole thing with Liv and her was kind of stupid at the end of the day. But I also, just like I said, I think booking-wise, that was just two different people in two different thoughts at the time. So I don't really put too much blame against that.
Yeah, no, that was just bad timing. And that was when they turned her heel, too, and then they didn't really turn her heel, and it was a mess, and it just didn't really work, so... It was just one big disaster, and I definitely, first of all, check out the interview that she did with Rick. Second of all, I can kind of see where she's coming from, and she's like, I have no intention of ever coming back. Well, listen, you came back once before, and it didn't really work out, so I think we can all safely say that we're not all that bothered by her comments as far as why she doesn't want to come back. And I hope it is a different culture there. I don't want to look past that either, because she talked about the culture and how misogynistic it is. I don't blame her one bit for thinking that or feeling that way, or if that is indeed the case when Vince was around. Currently, I don't know, because, but the thing is that she did work there when Vince was gone. Not completely gone, and she mentioned that, Vince was still there through Bruce, which she's mentioned before, and again, I wouldn't put that past him for a second. But, I don't know, it's hard to say how different it is now with Vince completely gone and Triple H completely in charge. But I did think her comments were interesting, though.